really good. Who dares stream with Doc and Ash? Who dares stream with Doc and Ash? Who dares stream with Doc and Ash? Who dares stream with Doc and Ash?
What it do, peoples? I don't know about you guys, but like when I hear this song now, I've been waiting for it on the radio, but it doesn't come on the radio. It only comes on when we do the stream. If you are unfamiliar, I am Doc Rock, and this is my homie Ash Clark, and we're ready for another episode of Who Dare Streams. Dun, 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 dun. Yo, I gotta say, after 40 years of DJing, my fader game is incredible. People are like, well, what if I want the music to fade out? When the next thing, take your mouse and drag the fader, just like I did. But as a DJ, I'm pretty good at it. I ain't gonna lie.
I like that. That's the thing. I need to actually pick your brain on then DJing. Like every time we talk, I think I find out you've done something else. There is you've learned this.
Here's what it is.
Diversity.
Those of us with ADD over the age of, say, probably 45, we didn't have any diagnosis. We didn't have any medicine. We didn't have any, like, whatever. You just kept busy. Like, when your brain would switch and want to do something, you just did it. Or if you did it, it kind of drove you insane. So for the people who were, like, trained into being scared of every stuff, they probably suffered. But, like, I was told you could do anything you want to do. And, you know, luckily my parents were like that. It's like, yeah, whatever. Go ahead. Yeah, whatever. As long as it doesn't cost anything. So I figured out all the stuff that I liked was expensive. So I started like cutting grass and washing cars when I was like 10. And, you know, I just always made my own money and bought my own stuff and did my own thing. And yeah, like I wanted to, you know, for computers for us back in the day too, it wasn't like you pick a specialty like you code. You had to do everything. So you had to learn graphic design. You had to learn music. You had to learn, you know, coding a little bit. You had to learn everything. There wasn't like now where you could just pick, I just want to be a social media specialist. That didn't exist when I was coming up. So we didn't have no choice. We had no choice but to do everything. So all my old, over 45 ADD people, give us a plus sign in the chat or some kind of icon because they know. All of us like this, they know. We had no choice. You guys got medicine. We didn't have medicine. We got ass whoopings. Today, gang. Yeah, because our parents thought we were bad. So most of us got spankings or detention a lot, you know, because everybody was like, why they can't sit still? Why can't they pay attention in class? You know, so we would get in trouble. They didn't know that, you know, we were special. Most of us.
I think I was at the end there because that's the thing. I don't know how old you think I am. You mentioned something the other day. I'm like, I think you're giving me a lot of credit. So I appreciate where you think
like
I
at maybe 35, maybe.
Okay. Look, I still take that. No, look, pushing 40, mate. So I do remember being belted. But I'm like, yeah, Jared, my younger brother, about 10 years younger than me, he got off light. I don't think I ever remember him getting a spanking. But
we got spanked.
And there was, as you said, there's nothing to do. There's no whiling away time on social media. So you've got to like use your imagination and do something, right?
The dumbest thing you could say in my house was, I'm bored. If you ever said that between mom and grandma, you was about to paint the entire house, the whole neighborhood. My mom, if our house was clean, she would send you to the neighbors to go do something for them. Never would you ever utter, I'm bored. And so that's also something that I think I don't do now. I don't do boredom. If I have a free moment, I'll just try to squeeze something else in. You know what I mean? So yeah. That's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Hey, good to see you. Lala's here. Flux Imagery is in the building. Yeah, Todd said boomers got it bad too. Yep. We got it be worse because of y'all were so bad that they took it out on us. Marion is on our side, and she's the thunder from down under. What's up, Tora? Good to see you guys. All right, gang, we are going to drive in. If your mouse gets stuck, it's going to be really crazy. I'm not going to do a gear review. This Logitech MX3 Master, and this one is old. I'm about to buy a new one, and it's not because it's broken. It's just because, that texture stuff, it starts to get a little weird. The best mouse in the game. Just buy one. Logitech MS3 Master for Mac. Perfect. Oh, you trust me? Trust me. This one's like 5 years old. It's still a gangster. Anyway, we're going to jump in today. Today, our things are going to be showing you how to use Ecamm for Zoom. So what we're going to do is we invited some people to join us, and we want them to join us while we're live so you can see what we're going to do. And yeah, that's it. Clicky noise is normally my computer, Marianne. I also super cranked up my mic today because I have old people in the chat and they always say they can't hear me. Good question, Carolyn. If you have the free version, Suno. If you have the paid version, you do. Super simple. Super simple. Well, also depends on where you're coming from too. Pretty much the most heinous, like, hardcore copyright crap is pretty much US. The rest of the planet has learned that it's semi-stupid and they're not as hard about it. So it's pretty much us. We're the ones that have the problem. But yeah, that's the answer for Suno. Let's see. Just making sure. Okay, let's dive in like Flint. So I'm going to bring this up real quick, and I just want to show you guys a couple of things that we do. Ooh, that was the wrong keystroke. There we go. So as you see in my Ecamm windows, and again, I think what I should do first and foremost is just close everything so everybody doesn't have a panic attack and see all the windows that we have open. I'll leave the chat open because I like to see that. But if all of these things bother you, then close them. They don't have to be where you want them to be. Today, we're going to talk about the Zoom window, right? Now, personally, I have my stuff laid out the way I have it laid out so I can pay attention to everything at one time. And also, for most of you guys, when you get your chat window, it's going to look like this. Yeah, I was born in the 60s. Can't see that. So that's why I pull it out to like that. That's why mine looks so hugified. He's like, wait, mine doesn't look like that. Yeah, mine, I use it. I just drag it out bigger because I like to be able to see. The other thing that you can do, if your stuff gets just like hella messy, I'll put a bunch of more windows back up in a second. Let's put that one, this one, that one, this one, that one. If it gets hella messy, you can go to the top under Windows and you can just say, arrange all the windows, and it's going to do something like this. That's what most people look like because that's just the default Ecamm way. Your boy cannot stand that at all. So I just make a custom one and then bing, back in order. Oh, how did you do that? Paul, tell them how I did that. I'll let Paul tell you rather than waste time on it. But yeah, my windows have to be where I want my windows to be when I want them to be there because that's the muscle memory. If you're struggling with trying to figure out how to do stuff or when something happens, you don't know what to do, that's because you keep moving your windows. Put your windows in one spot, learn it. If you need to adjust, adjust. But once you find your placement, and I've adjusted 3 or 4 times over the course of Ecamm use, but this is my layout now. Every one of my machines looks exactly like this. If I go to Ecamm and Katie's like, can you run the show today from the headquarters office? I will arrange the headquarters machine just like this. Take a screenshot of it. And then if you got it, you can put it back. But yeah, Tora knows the answer. Tora knows the answer. Paul will put the link in so you'll know how you get it done. Thank you, Paul. Boom. There you go. It just makes your life so much easier. Trust me on that. So anyway, we're going to work on the Zoom window today. And then before we jump into here, now I'm already live in the meeting, but yours will look quite similar. The only difference is they'll just be empty. And the middle one is going to where you add a join link. I join all of my, actually, Paul or Katie, since you're not on yet, can you send me a screenshot of just the Zoom empty window, this piece, and then I'll show people what it looks like. What I do is I start all Zoom meetings from Ecamm now. If you just called me and say, hey, we want to talk about, Raiders draft picks or whatever, I'm going to call you from Ecamm for Zoom because it's just way sweeter. Dang, my Slack just pinged. Was that fast? Okay, that was something else. That was the moderator talking smack. I was like, bro, that was super quick. Whoever did that. There we go. Thank you, Kate. Speaking of super quick, this is why you have Katie on your team. Look at this. Bingo. The best part is Katie's cup of coffee. Like, that's the selling point right there, bro. You got to have your good Zoom avatar because whatever you have as your Zoom avatar will show up. So I think before Ash came in, he has the Capsho logo as the Zoom avatar. So that's what you're going to see if you don't add a camera. So you would start your meetings from here if you want to just create a brand new meeting. If you schedule the meeting online using the Zoom portal, that's going to be this bottom button. And just to join a meeting, you're going to click this and you're going to paste in your link. And the saddest thing in the world to me right now, and this is a combination of us plus macOS plus Zoom. And Andy and I have been trying to figure out a solution that we can give to Ken and Glenn. Andy is our partner from Zoom. So that we can make it that when you click a Zoom link, it will automatically open in Ecamm if you select that. Unfortunately, right now, that there's some security issues that have to do with macOS that doesn't allow that to happen. So I just copied the links into my clipboard and I press this button here in the middle and then I paste it in and then everything else just works. So you need to know that, okay? So let me move this out the way. Thanks, Kate. That was super quick. Down here in the bottom where your sound situation is, you have one that says Zoom guest. So, Ash, tell us about your favorite team and how they did in draft right now.
49ers. Look, big 49ers fan. Pretty happy.
Sorry.
Look, we went. Oh, I mean, come on. I mean, you Oakland Raiders fan, now the Vegas. I mean, where have you been all around the world there? No, look, I'm happy with it. We went defense. We lost a lot of players. We beefed up. We'll stop the run. Pay Purdy. You know, not super buoyed coming into this year, but I'm happy enough with it.
But you see how when Ash speaks, this goes. And actually, 49ers don't bother me now that we moved out to Bay, but it used to be our Bay Area rivals, right? Now we're not in the Bay.
We always play you in the preseason just to...
Yeah, just to keep the party going. But you see how that works? Like, that's really, really cool. The other thing that's really strange, Ash, for some reason, many Hawaii people are 49ers fans. I think part of it in the beginning was proximity, but we also had a couple players that went through Hawaii. Guys from University of Hawaii that played at 49ers. There's the reason why. Anyway, so there's this. And whenever Ash is talking, this is that control. Normally when I do my streams, and I didn't set this up this way, let me zoom in real quick and show you something that I do. I tend to put all of these at 80 instead of having them at 100. And you'll notice my upper one up there is semi like that. It's at like 84 right now. And the reason for that, and this also reminds me to put the sound effects back. The reason for that is if I'm in the middle of the stream and someone says, can you make it louder? I have somewhere to go, just in Ecamm. But if you start everything pushed at 100 all the time and someone says make it louder, you have to then in turn go get your mixer or your interface or your mic or your Shure or whatever you're using and try to figure out how to turn it up really fast. And yeah, it's easy for me. I'm a sound guy. But mostly I don't know what to do. So then you're kind of panicked. And then now you start having I'm overwhelmed. And it's like, no, set yourself up for success, homie. Like legit. Start everything. I have like 80 videos where I've said start with the volume at 80. If you start at full blast, you have no place to go. It's almost like perfection. If you start out perfect, where you going? You know what I mean? So I would say do that. And that makes it a little bit better. Now, that would have made Ash a little softer. But one of the things I can do in my tech check is I can have Ash bring it up until he's just kissing the yellow like I'm doing up here. And then we'll be good to go. Right? So that's a good thing to know. One other place to pay attention real quick before we bring in Kate's is over here inside Ecamm Preferences. You're going to go over to Zoom. And then I'm going to embiggen this window. Ooh. Don't hit the 9, hit the 8. Okay. So in the Zoom window, auto emit Zoom participants, never. Why? Naked people show up in your Zooms. I'm joking. That hasn't happened to me yet, but it would be pretty funny if it did. Auto add Zoom participants as Ecamm sources. I could probably do this. I could probably do known participants or always, but for right now, I just doing them by hand, which you'll see in a second. I always set my Zoom capture mode for live streaming, recording. I don't think it really matters. I think it really just changes the announcement because when I say go, Ash gets a warning like we're going to be live streaming. The only thing you need to know about that, and this is super important, when you're having just a regular meeting, make sure you tell people that announcement is just a legality thing. You're not actually going to live stream. That can freak out people on the other end. What? We're going to stream this? I don't have on my makeup. I was like, you ugly. Makeup's not going to help. Anyway, sorry.
Cold, man, cold.
Factual. Zoom guest name and camera mode. Oh, let me show you guys that. I don't like this, but people do. You click this, and if I'm just using raw cameras, wait, I have to make a scene with raw cameras. I don't normally do this because I don't use a camera switcher. Camera switcher is ugly to me. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Switch, switch, switch. There it is. Okay, so maybe this should work now. No, it's still missing. Oh, because I got to go camera mode. There we go. See all these camera switchers down here? So I could add Ash like this. And then if I go back over to the zoom thing, I can do names in camera mode. But yes, I never used this camera mode. When it died, it went away. I poured out a little liquor and I never looked back. Camera overlays for the win. But hey, you do you, boo. I won't even explain you how to do it the bad way. So that way you won't know how dumb it is. All right, let's go. Now I look at it, this is disgusting. Please make that stop. That's quite painful. That is quite painful. That was the way we did it back in the day. That's the only way. But now we got camera overlays. I just love that control that you have. You know, it's like once you learn how to season your own food properly and not just use these pre-mixed weird salts. Yeah, it's sort of like that. Okay. We do have 2 more things I want to make sure you understand. And yes, I'm opinionated. Deal with it. You guys asked me to do this, so this is what you get. There is the ability to include a Zoom active speaker camera, which I have. So right now, you'll notice when Katie comes in, when Katie talks, and then I can have it where Ash is the other participant, Katie and Ash will switch. If Bono or Paul join us, you'll see that it switches around whenever someone talks. You can do that. I tend to take myself out of the active camera, and then you can say exclude visible inputs from active camera. So in other words, because I have Ash on already as a physical camera, it won't switch Katie and Ash. It will just be Katie and the Zoom active speaker. But if I turn that off, then that would add Ash. And the reason for that, if you're doing a show and the host is myself and Ash and Marianne, and we're talking about, island folks, we won't become the active speaker. Anybody in the audience would, right? So there you go. Because if you take the Aussie flag and the Hawaiian flag, they look very similar if you're not paying attention. Automatically spotlight
I've never seen
myself.
the Hawaiian flag.
What? Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
yours,
I'm
but
sure
our Union Jack is just
Really?
bigger. We just take the whole
Oh,
jack.
shit.
Yeah, take a look at it. Don't swear on the Ecamm channel.
Sorry.
I should say that to you, bro. I say it all the time.
I can't see my face on it. That's why. I'm hiding behind the thing right now.
Bro, trust me, I've done it by accident many times. Yeah, Aussie people and soldiers, we use fruity language. Deal with it. Automatically spotlight myself, and then add a Zoom chat for questions. This is cool too. Now, the one thing that's big in here is I always let sort of Ecamm handle my Zooms. I'm not going to change this now because I set this up as a new profile and I forgot to change this. In my personal setup, I always have this disabled, and I let Ecamm run the show. I messed this up, so just trust me. Use the bottom one. And for the audio stuff, it can get a little crazy. Always ask questions in the group. And the best person in the game, Daniel. Daniel has that thing wired. He knows it inside out, upside down, backwards, and sideways. Our other moderator, Andy, is also pretty handy Andy, with the steel, and Neil. So if you get questions about that, hit up the group. Hit Andy, Daniel, or Neil, and they tell you all of those things exactly. Also, Rabbi David, another Zoom beast. So, now what we're going to do, all of that is said from Hot Text folks, please use Ecamm. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Katie. I don't know why I assumed everybody would know that, but I am wrong. Take it back. Thank you, Vicky. Good to see you here. Okay, so Katie, what we're going to have Katie do is Katie is going to live join. Jesus, dude. Katie's going to join us live. That's not what hit means. Hit means like hit me up. Like, hey, what it do, fool? That's what that means. It doesn't mean like. Oh, my God. You guys are funny. Let's see.
Jesus.
Is that loud?
It scared me.
All right. Well, I bet you I just told Katie to call in like while she got up to go to the coffee machine. There we go. So you heard the little bing bing. All All right, so now notice on this window here, I'll show you the options that we have. So there's Katie, and all I need to do is press add. Just pressing add does not instantly put her on screen, right? But hey, Kate's. So now that I can see she's there and she's ready, I can see the mushroom background and those yarn things, weebles, wobbles, warbles, furbles, whatever they're called. And then you click on the little 3 mochi balls, right? There's ellipses, but if you've ever seen in Japan mochi on a stick, it looks just like that. Okay, so you click that, and then what I can do is add a placeholder like we did the other day, so I can put Katie as guest too. I can also send her back to the waiting room. I can mute her microphone, and I can even copy her avatar image. And here, I'm gonna keep that in the clipboard so I can show you why you would do that. And then I'm going to go assign to placeholder guest 2. Okay, so let me zoom back out here for a second, and we'll go to our new scene, and then I'm going to do cameras. Again, you can normally just drag from here straight to the middle window. I'm not going to test it because for some reason I installed Dynamo Label Maker, and ever since then I can't drag people in without crashing my whole machine. So I'm not going to do that. But let me put me, not my hands. Oh, you Jesus, dude. There you go. And then I'm going to go square or squircle, my favorite. All right, so now that I have my squircle, I remember it's about yo big. I can drag this camera over and delete. Pop that, and then I could do one more. And if I put this one on to a blank camera, for instance, just so you can see how we do this, let's pick camera 5. I can take Katie's avatar image. Oh, it won't let me do it. Never mind. Normally what I do is when I have empty cameras like this, because Ecamm shows it as a whole, I'll put a picture of the person back there. So in case their signal drops, it doesn't become a hole. That's something that I like to do, just have a photo of that person back there, which I normally steal from the situation. But in this case, I'm going to skip that and just put Ash over here. Boom. And then, Ash, I just want you to know, it's not your fault. People who like use Zoom accounts with their partners, which is everybody, and you never change the name, it confuses the heck out of the person that's producing.
I am Deidre, am I? Oh, I am too. I can see it now.
No, you can leave it, but it's just because as a producer, I'm looking for an Ash, and I'm always having to remember that you're Deej in this particular case.
Yeah.
Or the people that come in as iPhone and iPad. I want to wring your bleeding neck. I've done meetings with like 8 people named iPhone. I'm like, bro, seriously, dude, like fix your joint. Anyway. I don't blame you for sharing a Zoom account, though, because that's what we do. All right, done. Oh, let me add a plus. Ooh, not that. That's Notion. Let me add that's a good spot for it. Okay, put done up there. How are you zooming in and out so easily in live demo mode? Mac 101. That has nothing to do with Ecamm. That is Mac OS. When you set up your computer, the third screen that pops up after do you want to speak English is do you want to put on the ability to zoom. You know what everybody does? Zoom right past it. Right here. What is this thing called? System preferences. Zoom. 1, 2, 3. Click all of those boxes. Make a screenshot. To turn all of those boxes, you can pick whichever modifier key you want. I use the control key as my modifier. Right. Anyway, good? You got the screenshot in? Bingo. Why are you laughing, Katie?
Oh, it's awesome. I definitely took that advice. I was like, where is this? And then you showed me and I was like, immediately turned that on.
Yo, it comes up in the Mac. Every time you get a brand new Mac, it's literally the third screen. And everybody just goes, I don't need that. I can see. No, you ain't. Not if you was born somewhere in 77 and backwards. You need, actually now I'm up into 79 because we got New Year's going. Haven't used that option yet. Keep the avatar. Yeah. I don't know why the paste wouldn't work. I'll have to ask Ken and Glenn, but I love to keep a photo of the person back there. I'm going to just cheat and use my head for a second. that is a giant head, but I'll put it like right over my little picture here. I go close to the corner, which is why I like the Squircle setup. And I'll go like that. And then what I'll do is I'll put it all the way on the bottom. So you drag them because it stacks the order. And then so for whatever reason, if my camera was to disappear because like my signal dropped or whatever, there's a picture there. Now when I'm not in live demo mode, you're not going to see guest 6. I see guest 6, right? I'm assuming if I step out of here, people that are watching on the screen, it just looks like I'm the disembodied voice, right? But this is much, much better than this look right here. Now it looks like it disappeared. And the other thing that happens all the time in Zoom, and well, not just Zoom, this is called the internet, people. It has nothing to do with Zoom. I won't blame them because I don't want Andy to get mad at me. The signal from that person's house could be catching the vapors, right? Wait, I should really stop using hip hop terms when I'm talking to y'all. What is the terminology I'm looking for? It can go dumb. Like the signal could just get bad, right? Your signal drops, your bandwidth isn't behaving properly, and the person's face goes, and all the pixels are everywhere. Just turn the camera off and let the avatar shine because the voice is normally fine. As a matter of fact, if you turn off the picture, the voice will catch up because it's sending less bandwidth and you're giving the bandwidth an opportunity to catch up. So in some cases, you'll watch this all the time. If you pay attention to TV production, they will turn off the person's picture and just go to the voice, or they'll switch to B-roll real quick. So if you have a B-roll of this person doing their job. So if Ash was all of a sudden the world's best Texas barbecue master, while Ash is still talking about his journey and I'm waiting for his Zoom to catch up, I'll switch to B-roll of Ash like flipping ribs or something. And then as soon as I know that it's, they take out the mop and put the barbecue sauce and they spray. As soon as I see your signal come back in Zoom, then I can put you back on, so you learn how to do that stuff when you paying attention. Okay. Mommy said, haven't said hi to Doc and Ash yet, but I'll say hi to Katie first. Oh, I see. Thanks, Mommy. Thanks, Lala. Paul, if you're good, if you're a dentist, if you're high on dentist drugs, maybe we do want to see a high Paul. A high Paul would be the same speed as the rest of us now. Okay, so now we have Katie in. I want to show you guys a Zoom active speaker situation. So, see, Paul's coming. That'll make this way easier. I'm going to make a new scene. Actually, I'm going to do this scene on the fly. Sorry, Kate, stay there. Don't run away. I'm going to put Ash over here, move this big head person. And then I'm going to be like this. And I'm going to change this to Ash. And it's so much easier when you can just drag and drop the cameras. See, I'm still looking for Ash, and it don't say Ash. I'm going to take this one. Actually, I'll leave it in the corner here, and I'll make this one bigger. But for this particular one, I'm going to switch the camera to Zoom active speaker all the way at the bottom. So now there's Katie. And then as soon as I add Duncan, even though Duncan doesn't have a physical camera yet, actually, Paul automatically came up because I use Paul on streams all the time, so my computer knows Paul. But normally, Paul would just be in the back. So introduce yourself, Donald Sutherland.
You can throw me in the green room if you need a test.
Man, what happened at the dentist? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Your voice was a little bit, man, stop opening the Notion Command K. Dang it. Sorry, I got my shortcut keys all goofball. So now I'm going to take this comment guy and you just put it in the spot where it makes more sense. Or I can do this, put Ash and I a little bit more up here, and then grab the comment window and then biggin it like such. So now, was that Command Option K? So make sure you have your comment how you want it. Ooh. Oh yeah, this avatar thing is too big right now. Grab the little box here and unembiggen it. So that way I can get a better design. Okay, so now we're square. So if Katie says stuff.
Test.
And then if I bring up Al's comment, bing. You know what I mean? So you could do anything. Like we kind of say it's more about your imagination, right? So when you guys are trying to figure this out, let me put you on some pro tips for the people that Anybody out here want to make some cash? Let me show you how to make some cash. When you do your show, you can build like so Katie and Nat, I was gonna say Ash. Katie and Nat have a really cool show. It's called the VHS Club. So what they could do is have a Patreon supporting members and give the supporting members access or supporting cast. Write that down in case you're ready to do this, 'cause that's a better name.
Okay, so, yeah, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna take some notes.
So you take the supporting cast people and you put them in the patron group. And then so the paid patron members can hang out in the back end on your Zoom, right? And then when you're bringing on a guest, so Ash is my guest and we're talking, I can say we're going to take questions from the supporting staff or the second directors or whatever you want to call them. And so Katie would come up and then she would have a question for Ash. And then Paul would come up and Paul would have a question for Ash. But you would let your Zoom people who are sitting in the back end do that, right? One other thing I want to show you guys while we're doing this.
One thing about that, though, too,
Yes.
is an important thing is when you're on something where they're using active speaker, mute your mic, because if you clear your throat, you're going to come on screen.
Yes. Don't clear it though. Yes. When we first did this with Ken and Glenn, me and Daniel and Andy was just like round robining, switching cameras really fast. It was driving Glenn crazy. But yes, you can always do that. So yes, these are cool ways to do this. Now, one common question that we get is, can we get a camera feed of the gallery? And I'm always like, Ecamm can share anything that your computer can see. So let me show you how to do that real quick because people are going to have that question. So I'm going to duplicate Ash and I, bingo, and then I'm going to call this gallery. Now, when you do the gallery, remember, I can't remove Ash and I from the gallery, but it's okay because it's just a demonstration purposes. So I'm on here, and I'm going to 86 this particular window. I'm going to put Ash and I like right here, and I'm just going to hit screen share, which is this little iMac icon. And then I'm going to make me a box. Let's call it that. And all you're going to do is demo mode, press on the pencil, go under show, and then find Zoom in here. There it is. And we're going to Zoom meeting. Bingo. End of story. Now you can adjust these windows however you wish, and then you can click on view and say hide self view, and then there's the gallery. Like, I don't know why everybody wants to overcomplicate things, but this is how you do it, because Ecamm can see any window that your Mac can see. That's also very important that you realize, and this is something that hangs everyone up, the pixels have to be lit. I don't know if I can make this make any sense, but on your Mac keyboard, if you were to press F3, it gets all of these. I don't even know if I don't even know if demo mode still allows this to be shown. Can you guys see little Mac windows? Mm-hmm. That's normal. This is everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you press desktop 2, and then I put something on desktop 2, like the Zoom window, where'd it go? And I drag it into desktop 2. When I come back to Ecamm, it's missing now because the pixels have to be lit. If the pixels aren't lit, they cannot be shared. And what I mean by lit, you need to be able to physically see them with your eyeballs, not on a virtual desktop. If that makes any sense.
You can also, it's worth noting, you can also crop that in too. So like when
I'm
you're
gonna do
showing the
that.
gallery, if you want it, to look cleaner
To-
without all
to
the
look
Zoom stuff
cleaner.
all around it.
Yeah, because right now me doing that demonstration just wrecked everything.
It's too busy. It's overwhelming.
Okay, so if you want, like Katie said, this automatically adjusts. So if I grab the edge here and try not to press end meeting, see my guy right here kind of adjust. But
Yeah,
we want the Zoom meeting to be liquid, so I'm going to leave it like this. But I could also just take the bottom window here, my cursor, beat it to get off the screen. My cursor turns into an up and down arrow. So hold the Option key and go up to Paul, and then hold the Option key and come down to Katie and Ash. And then I can grab this, hold the Option key and tuck it in, and then tuck it in. And this is all fine and dandy as long as you don't then grab the Zoom meeting and try to resize it. You know what I mean? Once you make up your mind, stay there. Stop messing with stuff. You know what I mean? So I think the biggest takeaway that I can tell you every time we do this is get out of your head that it's perfect, because that doesn't exist, not even on regular TV. And just have fun. Like, legit, just have fun with it. But you can do so much more with Ecamm for Zoom. The interview mode is still there for people who do not have Zoom accounts, but I think Zoom is the way to do it, even if you have to limit your show to 30 minutes because you only have a 40-minute free Zoom. I think it's just way better. And Lala says, I just covered Ash's face, but luckily we have another one. Let me go to this one. Sorry, Lala. I'll be right back. I use Zoom to bring in members from members-only live streams who want to join me live crafting, sometimes more than 10, but I can only show a max of 10 at a time. The Zoom integration is helpful. So yes, Lala brings up a very valuable point. You can put up to 8 people on screen at any given time from your Zoom meeting, but you can round robin them. So you can bring them in from different times. And when you bring somebody in, we're going to get some different things. Oh, let's show one other thing. Oh, we're getting there. This is fun. So I'm going to go to my recordings real quick. And I do have interview guest set as a check. And I have guest audio. And then I have isolated audio tracks. So because we've all said something at some point in time, if I go up to my recordings here and turn off record all broadcasts, now, yours will not have the swanky hotkey. I made that hotkey myself, which is smash all the buttons in R, but I'm working on getting us a hotkey. Don't tell Ken and Glenn. I'm going to keep harassing them until we get one. Because if I stop this, you'll see now the recording has been stopped. I'm going to open up my Ecamm recordings folder, which needs to be cleaned out at this moment in time. So, and then open the Capsho doohickey. Go. Come on, computer. There you go. So here is all of what we did today. Let me go to icon view and then embiggen this to, like, old people size. And there you go. I have a isolated video of Paul. I have a isolated video of the whole entire show. I have a video of just me. I have a video of my hands because my overhead camera is on. It's just upside down. I'll fix that. I have the Zoom active speaker camera. I have the Katie Cam. That's an awesome name. And I have Ask Poj and as Deej. I also have individual tracks for each one of these folks. And then I have another Katie Cam. And the reason why Katie Cam is twice is because I believe before I assigned her to guest 2, she was just Katie herself. So you can even get the difference between once you assign them or after. It's going to give you all of these. What I do with all of these, I can throw these into Opus under clip anything and make a pretty dope clip of us all saying highlight really stuff, right? So that's why you want to get down with your isolated recordings. I'm going to put this back on in case we need something. And at the end,
Doc,
yes.
one thing, when you were talking about using active speaker like you're doing right now, can you open up your preferences and go to the Zoom tab? One of the things that's important when you're doing active speaker is halfway down, you see something that says include a Zoom active speaker camera. And then also in there, it says exclude visible inputs from
Oh, you mean the
active
thing I
speaker
covered
camera.
10 minutes ago? Yeah.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's
I
the
must have
dentist
been
drugs, bro.
occupied.
We're good.
I didn't have any.
Well, you should go back and get your money back, P. Like, yo, what happened to my dentist drugs? Yes, that is
That's
very
the next
important, though.
drug.
It's worth re-mentioning because it is super important. Because I hate it when we first did it, it didn't do that. And then Mary Lou and I would talk and we would take over active speaker as well. And it's like, no, we just want those guys. And then so immediately Ken and Glenn fixed it. So I like it this way better. And then I do want to say something, Ty, because we brought this up yesterday. The only reason why it looks so seamless is I do this 6 days a week. What most people do, which they shouldn't, is wait until they need to do it. And then panic when it doesn't work the way they want. How about you do it when you don't need to? How about open up Zoom, call your sister them, your cousin them, your Aunt B, whoever, and then just have a conversation with them and be like, guys, I need to play with this. Everybody grab a Merlot or a Merlot, as I call it, or a buttery Chardonnay, which is gross. A good Australian Shiraz is off the chain, by the way. Between them and Chile, best in the business. Just get a bottle and just do it while you're goofing. If you're up late at night, call Lala and be like, hey, I want to play around the Zoom. She always down. Lala would jump in. The Zoom, the family that you see in the chat, most of these people would join you on the Zoom while you get your situation situated. If you wait until you need to do so, sorry, fam, you might run into a brick wall. And that goes the same for pretty much anything, but really, really important like that. Listen.
It's also, I just want to jump in and say too that like if you're brand new to Ecamm or to live streaming and video production in general, the cool thing about this tool in particular is that you don't have to be live to play around in this. So like Doc is doing all of this live right now so we can show all of this to you, but you can do this as a recording. You can do this just like not keeping any of the files and just and build everything all out. And once you've built it all out, Ecamm is going to save all of that under a profile. So you can spend time for all of the planning and the building of the show, which will get you all familiar with how it looks. You can get it exactly how you want it. You can test it and make sure it all works. And then when you're ready to actually broadcast or record, it's all there. And literally all you're doing is clicking next, 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 and you have a finished production. So when you get in the habit of like, what do I need to do to plan and prep? And what do I need to do once I'm actually producing content? Like this is all really fast and easy. So if you're looking at all this and you're like, I don't want to do all of this prep live, you don't actually have to. You can. No one will judge you for it the way that you think they will in your head. Or you could do it as an unlisted live stream and just have like friends or colleagues or partners or whoever jump on to just give you a feel of it. But there's a lot of ways to practice that I think people don't fully understand or
I like the
appreciate.
unlisted thing. What you said about doing it unlisted is brilliant. I think the fun part, and like Lala just said, when she tested it, she did it live and it was fun. I think the fun part of doing it as a live, even if it's unlisted, is so that you can get the feel for live. One thing that a lot of people miss in the tech check, and I'll be dead honest, we get cocky because we do it so much. We don't do it as often as we used to. A lot of people don't actually go live in their tech check. Doing your tech check without the extra live element doesn't really tell you if everything is wired properly. So it is really beneficial. Like if we're going to do, we bring Ash on to myself and Ash and what's the girl with the fast hands? Anna and Fulgens.
Fast.
Because she always goes like this while she's talking.
Who?
Yeah.
All right.
Dang it, y'all just stop messing with me. I'm only half a cup of coffee in. We went live on LinkedIn first, right, Ash? And so that way they could make sure that everything was working. And then they just turned that off. And then we went live, in YouTube. But in order to get a feel of that it's working, they actually do their pre-show on LinkedIn or as maybe a private stream to your members. So that way they know that it's actually working. You know what I mean? Katie Cam is a perfect podcast name. Thanks, Al.
Yeah, there are lots of, if you spend any time at all kind of keeping an eye on what other creators are doing, you're likely to get a ton of really great ideas. Like I'm even thinking Jeff C, who does Social Media News Live, which is an incredible live show. He does that show live every week, but the beginning part, like the intro and the welcome, it has that kind of behind the scenes feel. And then once he's done kind of his intros and his, like hey to the audience and everything is looking and sounding great, he literally has a line every show where he's like, all right, I'm turning on the podcast machine. Like this is when the official recording is starting. So it sets up like the intention that the pre-show, quote unquote, is for testing. Things might come up. Like it's a it's a casual space for the live viewers, and then the actual podcast listeners and viewers later, they only hear from after I'm turning on the podcast machine, right? So like it doesn't ruin the actual finished production of it, but it
Yes.
creates a really unique special experience for people who are joining live. So I think there's lots of different ways you can do it, and there's certainly no one, it's not one
There
size
is no
fits
right
all,
answer.
and there's no right answer, and you can change any of it too. Like if you start with something doesn't mean you can't find something better or want to change your process, but
Yes.
the more you practice, the better you'll get, for sure.
For
Just
and-
push buttons.
Yeah, push buttons. And also, for last Sunday makes 20 years of Twit, and we've always done the live show, live. That means in connecting cables, moving tripods, the whole thing has been live on YouTube. Well, before it was on a private page before YouTube it's older than YouTube. Let's put it that way. And we've always shown that part live. And like Katie said, the part that you see that shows up on iTunes, it never shows that. But we've always done the whole pre-show live. And that's the reason why for my show with Mary Lou, we always do that live too. We're building the Notion document. We're showing you everything, like how to do your graphics, how to do your Notion document, how to set up the scenes. Because people just like that. So Lala is correct. Thank you for that. And Gretchen is true. Nobody but yourself goes back and watches those crazy lives where you're off the rails after surgery. Yes, Gretchen will forever go down in history as still under anesthesia doing a live stream so she didn't break her streak.
Way to go, Gretchen. Gretchen is hardcore.
No, that was one of the best streams ever. She's like, hi, guys. It was so good. Okay, Ash, because you're the one that's learning how to do this, is there anything that you think we should cover that we didn't? You're the one that's learning this.
No, I mean, personally for me, not really. One, I've got to get a Mac so I can actually play around with
Just steal
Ecamm.
Deeja's one. She's going to be busy.
Everyone right now, send through the super
sh-
chats. We're gonna find
She needs a
Ash's
new one.
computer.
Her Mac is
Oh, I've been
flashing
telling her that
lights.
for like a year and a half. She don't listen to me.
Yeah, no. No, I agree with, I think the main sentiment that I got from that, because I'm a big believer in this, and this applies to like, I think every software that you kind of ever use, is like, everyone is worried that you're going to break things, and you're not. Like, you're not going to like break Ecamm. You're not going to break Capsho. Like, play around with stuff. And I just love, so I look at this and I go, I would take this and just want to your point, do stuff, create some kind of like mock to be able to see what all the features did, to see how it works. So I think that would be my big takeaway, is just like dive in there. There's so much that you can do, but you can't stuff it up. So go
Yo.
find the fun stuff.
Oh, and Luis is correct. Let me give you something real quick. I just want to put everybody onto this. This guy right here. You can buy the base model for $4.99 if you have a college student around or you just lie. But I would say the base model comes with 16 gigs now. I would say at least get 512 on the drive, because as a live streamer, you will eat the 256 up really quickly. We use the 256 for our show machines, like when Katie and I go to do shows, because we delete them after the show is over. But you cannot go wrong with this. This is so cheap and this is so fast. This is probably faster than any current Mac that any of you guys are using right now, unless you have one of these. Unless you have a brand new Mac Studio from like 2 months ago, or a month ago actually. That Mac right there, if you bought even the $500 one, is faster than anything you own right now. I'll put money on it. Like, it's stupid quick. And so, yeah, it's very cheap. Very, very cheap.
So that's what you're recommending. That's what I need to get, right?
Well, yeah, but you're a very laptop-oriented guy. You don't have monitors, right?
No, but I'm sure I could find a monitor lying around.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's what I
say
did.
that. I left them all back home in Australia.
Yeah, you can get Katie and I, for our demo machines, actually it's in this box back here. They're flat monitors, were $150, but they're little 2K monitors that you can take it with you if you want to go to a coffee shop. I take this and that and call it a laptop. To me, it's better.
Boom.
And
Yeah.
we made these cool little cases. You stuff everything in, add your Ozbot, boom, you can go anywhere and set up a stream. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was amazed that the kits that we made carry actually 2 full setups, and I mean like full. They had like 2 Mac Minis, 2 displays, all the cables, Ozbot cameras, microphones, like literally on like in the smallest size Pelican roller bag, and it like you can just be popped up, ready to go. And again, it's not even a laptop. It was amazing to me that
And
it
we
was
look
that
cool
cheap
when
and
you're
easy.
coming through the airport. It looked like you about to do something. Okay, I had to tell you guys a little secret. This is a very important secret, and once you know this secret, you can absolutely win.
Shh.
And don't forget, if
Don't
you
tell
scan the QR
anybody.
code, you can join the bingo. Ash did not make me say it in a
Bingo.
sentence. Thank you, Ash.
I was going to say, I mean, if we want to, that was obspectacular of you with that
Ooh.
transition. The transition was obspectacular. I didn't see it coming. I just,
It was.
It's a Segway Weaver.
it's,
It was. It was
Speaking of Segway,
fantastic.
Katie's husband used to work for the Segway guy, but not that kind of Segway. It's a different Segway.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's super funny. Yeah, so don't forget, people, make sure you get this, take a screenshot, scan the little QR code, use this for your beach blanket bingo card, and you get a chance to be Osbot-tacular. When we send this off to our Osbot rep, they're going to be like, what the heck are you guys doing? Huh?
have they not used this? I mean, I feel like I'd be ripping them off if they've not used obspectacular ever. Or
Yeah.
I don't
obspos-
know.
I don't think so.
Awesome.
Might
We,
start
we,
a
got,
new
we got to
trend.
teach them some of our cool, like made up words that we always have running around in the Ecamm fam. So today's dare, people, is you're going to find a buddy, right? You're going to find somebody and you're going to go live. Now, it could be somebody from the group, and then, Paul and Bonnet in the group helping out. You can jump in and say, hey guys, I'm ready to do this. And all you need to do is from this little Zoom box here, let me go back in and show you. Once you start your meeting, there's a line down here that says copy the meeting link. It disappears. Actually, let me undo this real quick and I'll screenshot it. It disappears when you go to screen share because it doesn't want you to give away your secret sauce. You know what I mean? So you see right there. But when I go into this mode here to demo mode, it hides it. So that way, you don't get creepers popping up in your situation. And you can't see my whole password anyway. But you can do that. The other thing that I will show you is if for some reason you are young impaired, you need these boxes to be bigger, you can slide the little chicle here on the bottom so that you have better access. And then you can just do it this way, or you can pull the window out and you can make it relatively large. So if for some reason, then boom, put it back. Paul, Paul did tell you how I did that. 'Cause someone's going to ask, how'd you do that? Paul put the link in there. He did already, so it's up there. What happens in the mobile bingo is deleted? I don't know. I use a computer. What happened, Ash? It should stay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming if, I don't know, it refreshes or your cache is cleared, it will die and it will reset. Yeah, if that's what happened, then you'd have to fill it out again. But again, if you're playing on mobile, I would highly recommend playing on a desktop because the mobile is one long line of 25 squares, which I would not know how that would work.
Me neither.
It top to
Okay.
bottom.
Well, I'll explain it to you systemically. Why did I just do that? Don't do what I just did. You guys, this thing has the world's fastest scroll wheel. It can go from 0 to 3,000 pages in one pull. The problem is it keeps scrolling infinitely if you turn off the little clicker that's in here. And so what happens is sometimes I scroll really fast and then the clicker goes off instantly and it just becomes speedy. And I'll put the mouse over something that is controllable by scroll and then just go. So that's what happened to Katie. Anyway, the reason why, when this app was built really quickly in order to just do this. And so it's not like what you would call a full like Golden Master type app. So
It's a game. It's
you're
a
not,
game. You can
we
move over to
didn't
a
write in the
computer.
stuff that makes it like designed for mobile. By we, I mean Ash. Because why?
You're talking about bingo. I was just like, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
I
talking
thought
about
Ecamm.
bingo.
No.
So
It's like, or you had an app to scroll.
Right.
Yeah,
you guys
bingo
who are
is a
trying to
quick
use
and
it as a
dirty.
phone thing, like, yeah, it's not built for that. So just use a desktop. Because your desktop has a place to store the memory cache. Phones don't like that because that's how they track you when you have your phone in your pocket.
and
That's fair.
you're registering, but it's not like it's going to transfer. So if you played on desktop and then you try and load it up on your phone, it's going to be a different version. So don't expect it to go between the two.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we got that part down. We got the interview part down. Yeah, we did everything. Let's just spin this topic, dude, real quick, and then we'll call it a day.
And are these
you,
guys going to
everybody.
stay with us? I'm hoping. Katie and Paul.
Sure,
You
yeah.
Oh yeah, let's make sure. Let's get Katie and Paul to join us in our topic talking. Our topic talking. Jesus, dude.
We can take us off active speakers, so both Paul and I are on screen.
I'm doing
It feels
that right
weird
now.
Me being big.
He,
Where's Paul?
he
I don't
likes to
like
keep me in the background.
I don't like it. I need Paul on screen.
It's just
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll do this the lazy way, which I absolutely despise, but it's going to be quicker this way. Ooh, this is so weird to me. This hurts my feelings.
I know. Even I'm a little bit affronted now. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen us like this.
Yeah, it's a
What
it's
is
a it's a very weird.
Lice and
Oh.
dice.
There we go.
There
Look
you
at us, old school.
Okay.
Love it.
Taking it back to the old school. All right, so let's spin this topic doohickey, episode 3. Turn on the thing. Who dares stream?
Fun.
Microwave and buttons. Why do microwaves have so many buttons when we only use 3 of them? Alrighty then, this is great. Gang, one thing you should know. Command backspace takes you to your last scene. That's another quick shortcut. Okay, breathe it out.
Oh man. So wait. Why do Mike read it again?
Why do microwaves have so many buttons when we only use 3 of them?
Okay.
Okay, here I'm gonna count it down in 5, 4. Aloha, welcome to Who Dares Stream. I'm your host, Doc Rock, along with my co-host, Ash Clark, and we have special guests all the way from Beagle Creek, Louisiana. We have Katie Fox, and from East Tupelo, Mississippi, we have Mr. Paul Duncan. Today, guys, we have a question. Why do microwaves have so many buttons when we only use 3? Go.
I'm going to throw it out. I mean, I know what we co-host is. I want to hear from our guests. I want to make sure that, Katie and Paul take center stage. I agree with it. Why? I couldn't even tell you what, besides start and power level, they're my 2 go-tos. So I only need 2 buttons on a microwave. Minus the numbers. I'm assuming numbers are numbers, right? We're talking about all the other little weird and wonderful things that a microwave has.
Yeah, I think numbers are numbers. I think all the added buttons just get in the way. They're just a distraction. I only ever use my plus 30-second button. You just hit plus 30 seconds until you get to the time you want and call it a day. Do you have that button on yours?
Just a shortcut.
If
Yeah.
if there were only 3 buttons on the microwave, it would look really simple. So they have to add all those other buttons to give the impression that it's very complicated.
Well, it's funny because in the convenience store, the microwave has 3 buttons, right? It's like coffee, burrito, and hot dog or something, right? You normally just press 3.
Yeah.
So I'm the weird one out here. I do have my microwave, and I'm like Katie. On the normal circumstances, I'm like plus, 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 plus. And then on our microwave, you can do the plus 30, and then you can hit minus, and you can pull back 10 seconds.
Now that would be good.
The popcorn button, though, gets a lot of work out in my house because of my niece Emma. But then I taught her how to make popcorn in the Dutch oven way better. La Crusade, way better, in no dry kernels. But I have a fancy LG microwave, and so I do everything from here. Because what that allows you to do is you build recipes for certain things, and so I can have Apple shortcuts. So if I know that I want to heat a plate, I can just tell her to heat a plate, and it has a sensor inside, and so it doesn't cook. Because when you live in Japan, everybody microwaves everything, but their food comes out good. We screw up microwaving because we do full blast everything, and you don't. And Ash knows because Ash talked about power levels. Power levels is key to proper microwavery. If you just blast everything full power, you get rubberized food that tastes disgusting.
I don't think
Well,
I ever
the
go
other-
100%. Never
The
100%.
other thing too is you need those extra buttons to set the time.
My time is
Oh, yeah.
automatically set because my microwave has Wi-Fi. I never have to set the time. It just connects to the router, automatically sets.
An oven has a
I
Yours is
time.
like
almost
the old
never use my
VCR.
microwave. Mine is only ever used for setting the time and like very rarely for quickly heating things up. I've never
Yeah,
used
I
power
don't like
modes.
reheating in microwave either. For the most
I
part,
don't.
it's like heat up water really quickly, which now I don't because I have an instant kettle, like a proper person, electric kettle. And I guess what I use it for is softening cream cheese and butter. That's where it gets the majority of the use.
I definitely use softening butter. Yep.
And my microwave has a soften button. You hit the soften button, and one for butter, two for cream cheese, three for chocolate.
Man, it's fancy. I was going to say microwaves haven't really changed much in my life, but I'm clearly not buying the right microwaves.
Bro, LG all day. It wasn't expensive too. It's like a $300 microwave, but it has all of the intelligence in it now. And honestly, this is going to sound crazy. If your microwave is, say, more than 5 years old, you would be amazed at how much better the new ones are for what they can do, and not just being like you said, full blast everything at 100, make popcorn. All the new ones have really good sensor technology, and so they do a better job of not like jacking up your food. And yeah, once
That's why you go with a smart oven or something like that, or an air fryer. I just reheat in the air fryer now.
I was gonna say I live and die with my air fryer.
Yeah,
air fryer, team
all
air
day.
fryer, yes, team air fryer all day.
We
Team
spun
air
the
fryer
wrong
all day.
topic. We should have spun the topic of
Air fryer.
air fryer instead.
You know those burritos from Costco, the Jorge Posadas? It's actually just called Posadas, but I call it Jorge Posadas because baseball.
I think
I heat those in the air fryer. I never use the oven. Air fryer, 14 minutes, flip at 7, and it's crunchy. In the last minute, just take a little butter or avocado spray, and you wet the thing, and it'll go crunchy.
Please.
Wow.
If
No,
you're
I'm
not cooking
hungry.
with ghee, cook with ghee.
I cook with
That
ghee.
has changed. I've been cooking with ghee lately. Taking it to another level. Holy moly.
Yes. Cook with ghee. There you have it, people. You heard it here on Who Dares Street. Who Dares Ghee? Listen, go to Whole Foods or Trader Joe's right now and get you some ghee. It can give you that butter flavor without all the extra calories, and it doesn't burn. Ghee is the answer. And if you're just really cool, like maybe Taisha, you can just make your own ghee. Go to Costco, buy 2 pounds of butter, and clarify it yourself. There you go. It works best for unsalted, by the way. There you go. That's it. That is Who Dare Stream, and thank you to Paul and Katie for coming through. And see,
Actually, there's
Can't
a
wait to
question that
I got
a
it.
question that came through.
I know how to
You got
work
it?
this. I am good at this.
I didn't know if you could. I wasn't sure if you were able to read or not, so I just
I
wanted to make
can't.
sure.
That part is a problem. Answer the question. This is for you, damn it.
Well, and I was going to ask Katie. It says the challenge for day 3 requires Ecamm Live Pro, so you would need that to do it. Correct?
Yeah, that is a really great point. So, so if you are not currently an Ecamm user or you're not on Ecamm Live Pro, you can grab a copy of the trial. So the trial has all of the features, including Pro. If you've used the trial before and you need us to extend it, you can just email us at marketingteam@ecamm.com, and we're happy to help get that trial reset so that you can practice and try all these things out. Or you could also just find an Ecammer and come on as a guest if you want to have kind of the experience without needing to
Yeah,
have
we
all of
can
the Ecamm
just pretend
buttons.
you're the
So
host, as
either
even though you're
or,
the
guest or host.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
it.
I encourage you to play both. If you're somebody that's hosting, I encourage you to try coming on as a guest with somebody so that you understand what your guests are going through when they come on, because it will help.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
Ashby, send us an email so we can reset your trial so we can put you in the pro for a second. Or you can just start a new trial and then use that.
Yep.
Gang, this was super, super awesome. Don't forget the magic word is OBSBOTtastic. And you know what the dare is. Everybody jump in. This was super fun. Thank you guys. Katie and I have a meeting. So I got to hit you with something really cool that Ash put together for us. And here you go.
And that's how you stream with Doc and Nash. And that's how you stream with Doc and Nash.
I have no idea what the drummer me is doing.
And that's how you stream with Doc and Nash.
Just the keyboard on the left there.
It really, so it's missing an Ash. It needs an Ash popping in.
Yeah, I was good. That's what I was going to say.
Dude, you got to have Ash come in.